Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Christian Sands, and I'm really excited about today's episode of Welcome to the Sands Box. We are interviewing my absolute favorite, multi-talented artist. She is so incredible. She is 3-time Grammy Award-winning, Tony Award-winning, NEA Jazz Master. I mean, you name it, she has it, and she's done it. I'm talking about the one and only Dee Dee Bridgewater. Hey, Dee Dee.
Hey, Christian.
So good to see you.
Amazing, young, multi-talented young man. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you in this?
I like you wearing this hat. I like this.
Thank you. I know. You should have seen it last season. It was definitely here. So I finally got out and went to the barber.
Oh, you did?
Safely now, you know. And he gave me this little thing happening, which I kind of like. I like it. Yeah.
You got nice thick hair. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it, you know.
Keep it as long as you can.
How is COVID brain happening?
Oh, COVID brain for me is it's running rampant. I'm doing all kinds of wacky stuff, like, you know, our little incident. People don't know this, but yeah, everybody, we'd set a time, but it was Eastern Daylight Time and I'm in Central Daylight Time. And so when I put it down in my calendar, I put it down Central because that's my world. That's right. At any rate, so we're doing this in hours. I'm a little wackadoodle. I am. Yeah. I'll be honest. Yeah. I was texting with let me see. Let me move here or move this over. I was texting with Donald Harrison, and I was going, Donald, I need to sing. I need to work. Are you doing something in your house?
Right.
Come over. I'll wear a mask. I said, please. I'm getting ready to hit up Nicholas Payton, and then I'm gonna hit up Tank. I'm gonna hit up everybody. Right. I need to do something. Y'all come hire me. I'll come back with your children. Come on. Everybody's wearing a mask.
I hear you. I am the same way. I'm stuck in Connecticut, and there's not a lot of cats around here, so I gotta travel. And so I'm just trying to do it, trying to get these computer programs together. But hence this is why we're doing this program, so we can keep in contact and talk to each other, since there's no festivals, unfortunately. So this is technically what we'd be doing if we were in the festivals, be hanging out at the chow line and just,
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's get into this. I want to talk first about Memphis. Yes, I'm ready.
Oh,
because I remember the last time we were in the airport together, you were just coming up with this concept. You had just recorded it and it was all rough. So you were letting me listen to it. And I don't even think it had a title at that time.
No.
Yeah. And
gosh, Christian.
Yeah. And you had Jackie Clark on bass, James Sexton on drums, right? You have Charles Hodges. I
had Charles Hodges.
All from the Al Green.
Oh, I cannot tell you. I have a crush on that man. I can't even look at him. I can't. Oh my God,
Yeah. Boo Mitchell. You got Boo in there.
Boo was, that's my family. Oh my God. That's my family. Oh no. Yeah. I had Gary. Oh God, Gary. What's Gary's last name?
We'll edit, don't worry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Virus. I can't find it because I don't have my phone on.
It's okay.
But, no, it was amazing. Amazing cats. Amazing.
Yeah. So talk to me about the whole process. I know that you were originally born in Memphis.
Yeah.
You had moved, I think, when you were 3, correct?
Yeah.
But this was kind of a way to get back into those roots, right?
Well, the idea of doing this album was born out of another idea that was just too grandiose. When I had searched for my African ancestry and I'd gone to Mali because I thought that was the country. When I listened to their music, I knew a lot of the griot songs. And so I said, this must be it. And so when I went, people said that I was from this tribe called the Peul, P-E-U-L tribe. And then some of the people that worked with me on the album were Peul, and we really looked alike. Wow. And, so then I originally had wanted to do, when I did that album, which ended up being called Red Earth, A Malian Journey, I wanted to do a trilogy. And so then my second album, I wanted it to be a blues project where you show the likeness between the Delta blues and Malian guitar playing.
Yeah.
And so I was gonna actually kind of follow the blues trail, the Delta blues trail.
Yeah.
And I was gonna start at a place where after slavery had ended and they had sharecropping, there's this place in Mississippi called Dockery Farms. You heard about it? It was a Dockery plantation. And so on Sundays, all the sharecroppers would come together at the commissary, and any blues players coming through would stop and they would play.
Wow.
And so I was going to follow from Dockery Farms. I was going to even record some in Dockery Farms. I was going to record on the steps of the commissary because some young, silly kids burned down the commissary. But, you know, I had this whole plan, and I was going to bring some of the Malian musicians over, and, you know, it was real big.
Yeah.
And it just, and Kev Mo was going to produce it. And so Kev was sending me to blues school. He gave me like 20 artists that I was supposed to go and read all of their autobiographies and, you know, do this whole study, and then life got in the way. So it ended up not being able to happen. But at the same time, I had decided to go to Memphis and to try and uncover more information about my father.
Yeah.
There, and you know, while he was teaching at one of the two black high schools at the time, Manassas High School, and he was good friends with Boo's grandfather actually, but the grandfather adopted Boo and his sister Ona. So they're his kids. So he knew that they were interested in the studio and carrying on the tradition of the recording in the studio. So, so at any rate, when I was going to Memphis, I heard, you know, in the airport, the music that they were playing. It was all the hits from, you know, when Memphis was Soulsville, you know? Yeah. And so I think it was the third time that I went through, and I heard Carla Thomas. I just kind of tuned in when Carla Thomas was singing Baby. And I said, this is what I know. I know this music because I had listened to this music on a radio station out of Memphis called WDIA.
That's right.
I was a teenager, so it kind of morphed out of that whole thing. And then my mother was transitioning at the time with her dementia, and I knew for my next album project I needed to do something that was going to lift me up because I was very close with my mother. Yeah. Even though I had accepted, you know, that it was her time. Yeah. I knew my spirit was going to be aching. And so I thought I need to do some music that is going to lift me up, help me forget, and help me heal. Yeah. And I thought that this music would do that because this was like my teenage fantasy. Nobody in my family knew about it. None of my friends knew about it. Yeah. Because I listened to this music from 11 at night until like 3 a.m, you know? Right. So that's how it happened. And it did that. It did that. It has done that. It's taken on a life of its own. Yeah. Had a whole tour this summer. In Europe, in particular, people were just loving this music because they hadn't heard it. Right. And I would give a little history about each artist, you know, and I was going to blow it up this summer, and I was going to do some multi, you know, what do you call it? Multimedia stuff. Multimedia stuff. So I was going to, you know, show videos and I can't wait. Costumes and we'll go on and live this dream, you know. And I was going to have choreography and because I remember I remember what was it last year you played Scullers in Boston, and I drove up from my home in Connecticut and I went to Scullers to see you, and that band was cooking. I mean, y'all were just in it. I remember just can't get next to you, but I was like, oh, y'all were in it. I was like, this is it, you know, and you were so happy and so, you know, I mean, it was so happy. Yeah. You know, it's, you know, I don't think that people know, or maybe they don't really understand, you know, like when an artist finds something that really lifts them up when they're doing it. Yeah. This music has lifted me up in a way that no other music has done. And and I'm a diehard jazz singer.
Let's go backwards now, because the thing is with you, there's so many things to talk about, right? Because you've done so many things in your career, and I think we need, this web series is not long enough to cover everything that you've done. So we're gonna in this particular moment, I want to just focus on a couple of things that I thought that was just really interesting in the 70s, right?
Oh.
So I want to talk about the Afro Blue album, right?
Okay.
So that was recorded in Tokyo, I think 74, right?
73, 74?
74. George Mraz.
It's just been re-released, and it's been released here in the United States.
Okay. I mean, I was listening to it and I'm like, this is good. And Roland Hannah on Rhodes, and because I don't really, you don't get to hear.
Favorite.
Oh my God, yeah.
The drummer, Japanese drummer, his name.
Yeah, Motohiko Hino.
My God.
Ooh. Because I was like, who's this cat playing drum?
Motohiko bad, and he could tap.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his father was a tapper.
Wow, really?
And he has a brother who's a trumpet player, Teramasu Hino.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And they're all tap.
Wow.
They were tappers.
That makes sense. I mean, because the sensitivity that he plays with and everything, Ooh, that sizzle. Yeah.
Yes.
So for you, how was so that was your first recording, correct? Yeah. So how was that as somebody who's been, working and developing your craft? This is the first record now you get to do. What was that feeling like? What was it like? Okay, this is my first record.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whew, okay. So I remember being really excited about it. I remember being intimidated by it. I was terrified of all the legal aspects of it. And so I just kind of thrust everything in Cecil's hands. And Cecil tried to act like he really knew what he was doing, but basically he signed their lives away. And so, we don't get royalties. I haven't got nothing, zero. Fame, no fortune.
Right.
We were recording after concerts. So we'd go into the studio, it'd be like 11:30 at night.
Wow. And
then we would leave at like 2 a.m. And I was really, because I was young and I didn't really know, I knew the songs that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But after that, it was kind of a collective, but it was more the musicians who, came up with the arrangements and everything.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they were the crap out of them, man. I didn't know. I was like, oh man, these are great. Like especially particularly the Afro Blue arrangement. I was like, that was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but we came up with this stuff basically in the studio. I think Ronnie had done an arrangement on People Make the World Go Round. Mm-hmm. And then of course his song, Get With It. Yeah. What all did I do on that album? I don't remember. Yeah. But I just remember the actual recording of it being fun.
Yeah.
I had been in the studio as a guest singer on people's albums, but to have the album be mine was really exciting, back then. Yeah. I've had to kind of wrestle with it, being re-released, and I went through I said, I'm only going to do just a little bit of promo on it. Yeah. I'm not going to do a lot of promo on it. And now I'm like, what was that? Because, there's no royalties.
Yeah.
And, I was laying in bed one night and I was like, well, aren't you stupid shooting yourself in the foot? You should. This was your first album. And a lot of people make that mistake. Mm-hmm. Isn't it wonderful that someone thinks enough of your first album that they want to put it out and that they spend the money to promote it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, all you got to do is go in and say, yes, I did it. And yes, I'm, so, but
Mm-hmm.
I did my press, but it's doing good.
Good.
So it's interesting that I've lived long enough. This is the very first album that I did.
Yeah.
Almost 50 years ago.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Re-released. That's exciting. That's really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, I can say to you now, it's a huge honor. To have something that really was at the beginning of helping me establish myself as an individual artist.
Yeah.
It has withstood time.
Yeah.
It really has a kind of timelessness to it. And
did you expect it to? Like when you were there, back then, what did you think was going to happen to it? Did you know?
3.
Yeah.
23.
Yeah.
What did I know? I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
We think we know a lot when we're in our 20s. So, Cecil and I had our first child, she was 1 year old. And I don't know. I think I can say what was starting to happen was the relationship with Thad and Mel was beginning to kind of fizzle out. Mm-hmm. Because they were both beginning to feel that I was stealing the thunder of the band. So when we would be at the Vanguard, if I wasn't going to perform, people would leave. They said, "Oh, we came to hear the singer," and so they didn't like that. So they at first I was singing on every set. They did 3 sets on Monday nights, and then that was the first year. The second year I did the second 2 sets.
Oh, okay. So then
the third year and the fourth year. Well, the third year is when I said, okay, I see.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna start getting my own gigs. But I was on the last set, the third set, 2 sets at the end. And so there was a lot of plug and going on. But I have to say that those were my formative years. Mm-hmm. As a musician, because I never studied music. I don't read music or write music. But I can hear.
That's right.
And Dad always called me Big Ears and Runyon. And Thad really treated me like a musician. He would he always loved to change up the arrangements. He would play an arrangement through, and then after he would go back and he would cut and go from like letter B to letter D or F, and he would just do that. Or he'd say, play the first 8 bars of letter F, and then go to C and play that. He was reconstructing the arrangements. And so when I would sing at the Vanguard, because it was so tight, we were shoulder to shoulder. So my left shoulder was with his
right.
Well, he was facing the band.
Oh, yeah. So be his left too.
We were left and left.
Yeah.
He would whisper in my ear and tell me, Runyon, we're going back to da 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 da. Wow. He'd say, just listen.
Wow. Woo, training.
So that's how he treated me.
Wow.
And thank God I was always able to do it. I opened up my ears.
Yeah. But that also helped you just train your ears too, by being just brought into the fire. You just have to be on it.
I had to be on it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm on one album of theirs, and that is Sweet for Pops, and it's the song The Great One. Mm-hmm. I wasn't supposed to be on that. I'd never heard that song before. I'd gone into the studio because I was just mad, and because yet again, they'd promised me I was going to be on it, and
right.
Runyon, you need me to change it up. And so I said, well, I'm going in there anyway. I'm going to be up in their face, And I remember Quincy Jones was in town, and so Quincy was in the studio, and so we were both sitting and talking, and Thad goes, hey, Runyon, you're going to sing on this next one. And I was like, what? You're going to sing on this next one. I was like, Thad, I don't know what you all are doing in this. No. He said, you're going to sing. Come here.
Wow.
And I went up and it was The Great One. And I was like, Thad, I don't know this song. He says, I'll tell you when to come in. I'll tell you when to come out. Just listen.
Wow.
And that was it. And that's what it is.
Oof.
It's just vocalize.
Oh no, and I know that too. I know that song. I mean, you definitely did that. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was a very interesting relationship.
Yeah.
Thad was a kind of father figure, and when we would tour, I would always have to go and get him out of the bars and and he just loved to take me with him everywhere, So he had me in some interesting situations.
Right.
Well, yeah. And by myself, without Cecil.
Yeah. Wow.
Just him and whoever.
Well, all right, Dee. Well, thank you very, very much.
Thank you. I enjoyed this. Much love, Christian.
Definitely.
Okay. And the door is open. It swings both ways.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right.
Be blessed.